Welcome to IGA Online TV. Remember to subscribe, like and share this content. Today we have mathematics, and then we are going to base our revision on least common multiples or LCM. Let's defining what is a multiple. Multiples of a number are found by taking the product of any counting number and that whole number. You take a given number and then you keep multiplying it by a whole number which is a counting number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. The result of that multiplication or the product is what you call a multiple of a number. Let's have an example here. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 is a counting number and then the product of that multiplication is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. The counting number is 2 and the product is 10. So when we keep multiplying 5 by the counting numbers, we get the multiples of a number. So the multiples of 5 will be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 and so on. Here the counting numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So when we multiply them with any given number, the results forms the multiples of that given number. Let's use now this knowledge of multiples to find out which is the lowest common multiples of numbers. LCM of two numbers is the smallest multiple which is common to both sides. First of all, it is the smallest. Secondly, it is common to both numbers. You first check which multiples are found on both sides and then you choose the smallest one. The smallest one is the LCM. Let's have an example. LCM of 12 and 15. As we said, we first find the multiples of 12 and then we find the multiples of 15 and then we check out which multiples are common. As we can see it here, 12 is found here but it is not on the other side. 24 is here but is not on the other side. 36, 48. But when you go to 60, you see that 60 is found among the multiples of 12. It is also found among the multiples of 15. When you continue, you see that 72, 84, 96, 180, they are not found here on that list. But when you go to 120, 120 is a multiple of 12. It is also a multiple of 15. So what are the common multiples? The common multiples are 60 and 120. Remember that we are talking about LCM, lowest or least common multiple. The lowest or the smallest common multiple among the common multiples is 60. That is why we say that the smallest common multiple is 60, and so the LCM of 12 and 15 is 60. Let's use now this method of prime factorization to find out if we can get the same answer. Another way of finding LCM of two or more numbers is to first express them in terms of prime factors. We are going to use that method to find out if we can get the same answer. We use prime numbers. First of all, we use prime numbers, and those prime numbers are numbers which have two factors, one and itself. To mean they have only two numbers which can divide them, one and the number which is given on the given number. That is why we say itself. We first now draw a table. As you see, we'll be using 2, we'll be using 3, we'll be using 5, we'll be using 7, we'll be using 11, we'll be using 13. These are the prime numbers. After drawing a table, we fill in with numbers 12 and 15. What are we going to do? We are going to divide 12 and 15 using the prime numbers. We always start by 2. Once we finish by 2, with 2 we go on with 3 and so on. Let's start with putting 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. But when you go to 15, 15 divided by 2 is not exactly, we don't get an exact answer. We have decimals. That is why we bring down 15 without dividing it. And then we put 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, as you can see it here. And then 15 divided by 2 is 15. You don't get an answer. That is why we bring them down here. So we are using 2. We are not going to continue using 2 because 3 divided by 2 is not exact division. 15 divided by 2 is not exact. That is why we move on. We are going to use now 3 instead of using 2. When you put 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then you go to 5. 5 divided by 1 divided by 5, you bring down 1, and then 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now, what is LCM? To find LCM here, we are going to multiply all these numbers that we have found here, these prime numbers. We multiply all of them. To mean we take 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 times 5 is 60. That is why you can use the first method or the second method. We always get to the same answer. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe.